The abandoned hospital had been closed for decades, but that didn't stop a group of friends from deciding to explore it. They were thrill seekers, looking for an adventure that would push their limits. Little did they know that their decision would lead them down a path of darkness and terror. As they entered the hospital, they were greeted by a musty smell and a sense of foreboding. The walls were peeling, and the floors were covered in debris. But the friends were undeterred. They had come too far to turn back now. As they ventured deeper into the building, they began to hear strange noises and see disturbing images. They heard the sound of footsteps echoing down the hallways, even though no one was there. They saw shadows moving in the corners of their eyes, but when they turned to look, there was nothing there. It soon became clear that they were not alone. Something sinister was lurking in the shadows, watching them, waiting for the right moment to strike. The friends tried to stay calm, but their fear was palpable. As they tried to escape, they discovered that the hospital held a dark secret. Decades ago, the hospital had been the site of illegal medical experiments. Patients had been subjected to horrific treatments, and many had died as a result. The experiments had been covered up, and the hospital had been closed down. But the spirits of the patients still lingered, trapped in the hospital and seeking revenge. The friends found themselves being chased by ghosts, their screams echoing through the empty hallways. As they tried to find a way out, they discovered a hidden room. Inside, they found a journal that detailed the experiments that had taken place in the hospital. They read about the pain and suffering that the patients had endured, and they realized that the spirits were seeking justice for what had been done to them. The friends knew that they had to stop the spirits from wreaking havoc on the living. They decided to perform a ritual to cleanse the hospital and release the spirits from their torment. The ritual was dangerous, but they had no other choice. As they performed the ritual, they could feel the presence of the spirits around them. But slowly the ghosts began to fade away, their anger and pain finally being released. The friends emerged from the hospital, shaken but alive. They knew that they had been lucky to escape the horrors of the abandoned hospital. But they also knew that they had done the right thing by releasing the spirits from their torment. They hoped that the hospital would never be disturbed again, that the spirits could finally rest in peace. Once upon a time, there was an abandoned hospital that sat on the outskirts of a small town. The hospital had been in operation for over a century, but it closed down years ago due to financial difficulties and a lack of patience. The building became dilapidated and overgrown with weeds, and rumors began to circulate about strange occurrences happening inside the abandoned hospital. One evening, a group of adventurous teenagers decided to explore the abandoned hospital. They had heard the rumors and wanted to see for themselves if there was any truth to them. The group consisted of 5 friends: Sarah, Jack, Emily, Tyler, and Alex. They parked their car on the side of the road and walked up to the hospital. As they approached the front door, they could feel a sense of unease wash over them. The hospital was dark and quiet, and the only sound was the wind rustling through the leaves of the trees. The group pushed open the door and stepped inside. The interior of the abandoned hospital was even more decrepit than the exterior. The walls were peeling, the floors were covered in dust and debris, and the air was thick with the smell of mold. The friends split up, each exploring a different part of the hospital. Sarah walked down a long hallway, her flashlight illuminating the way. She heard a faint whisper coming from one of the rooms and cautiously approached it. As she peered through the doorway, she saw a figure standing in the corner. The figure turned around and Sarah screamed. It was just Emily, playing a prank on her. Meanwhile, Jack and Tyler were exploring the basement of the hospital. They heard strange noises coming from one of the rooms and cautiously approached it. As they opened the door, they saw a shadowy figure dart across the room and disappear into the darkness. They ran out of the basement, never looking back. Alex was exploring the top floor of the hospital when he heard a loud crash coming from one of the rooms. He cautiously approached it, and as he peered inside, he saw a ghostly figure standing in the corner. The figure turned around and floated towards Alex, who ran out of the room as fast as he could. As the group reconvened in the lobby, they all shared their experiences. They were all thoroughly spooked and decided to leave the abandoned hospital immediately. As they walked back to their car, they heard a faint whisper coming from the hospital, as if someone or something was beckoning them to return. The group never went back to the abandoned hospital again, but they couldn't shake the feeling that something was still there, waiting for them. The hospital remained abandoned for years, a dark and eerie reminder of the past.